Captain Do-hyun looked at the stars on the big screen. His ship, the Serenity floated in space far from Earth. No human had ever been this far before. "Captain, I found something strange," said Sujai. She sat at the communications desk, her eyes fixed on her screen. "There's a signal coming from that planet." She pointed to a small blue dot. Do-hyun walked to her desk. "What kind of signal?" "Pulses, like a heartbeat, but not regular. It shouldn't exist naturally." Tactical Officer Ju-ri joined them. "Could be a trap," she said. Her hand rested on her weapon. "Or a discovery," said Han-bin. The ship's xenobiologist had been quiet until now. "We came to find new life. Maybe we have." Do-hyun looked at the planet again. It was small, mostly blue with green patches. Scans showed cities, roads, and buildings, but no life signs. "A whole planet with buildings but no people," Do-hyun said. "Something happened here." "We should report back to Earth first," Ju-ri suggested. Do-hyun shook his head. "That would take 3 weeks. By then, the signal might be gone." He made his decision. "We're going down. Ju-ri, Suja, Han-bin, you're with me." The landing ship cut through the planet's atmosphere. Below them, they saw empty cities. Buildings stood tall but broken. Streets lay empty. Nothing moved. "It looks like everyone left in a hurry," Han-bin said, as they landed in what once was a city center. The air was breathable. The team stepped out in light protection suits. The city was silent. No birds, no insects, nothing lived here anymore. "Over there," Suji pointed. "The signal is coming from underground, below that big building." The building had strange writing on it. Han-bin took pictures of everything. Inside, they found a door that led down. Many flights of stairs took them deep underground. "This is a bunker," Ju-ri said. "They built this to hide." At the bottom, they found a large room with machines still running. In the center stood a round table with a glowing crystal. "That's our signal," Suji said. "It's coming from that crystal." Han-bin approached it carefully. "It's a data storage device, very advanced." He connected his translator to it. Words appeared on his screen. "What does it say?" Do-hyun asked. Han-bin's face went pale. "It's a warning about something they call the hunger. It says, they came from the dark space. They ate our worlds one by one. They are not alive as we understand life. They are hunger without end. They consume all. If you find this, run, hide. They are coming." The room felt colder suddenly. Suja found more crystals. "There are coordinates here, hundreds of planets." "More victims," Han-bin said. "The crystal contains records of other worlds that fell. This wasn't just one attack. This is a war, a galactic war that's been going on for thousands of years. And no one won," Ju-ri added. Do-hyun picked up one of the crystals. "How could something this big happen without anyone knowing?" "Space is vast," Han-bin said. "And we're new to it. We've only been traveling between stars for 100 years. This war has been going on much longer." "But why send a signal?" Suji asked. "Why take the risk?" Han-bin studied the main crystal more. "They hoped someone would find this, someone who might fight back against something that destroyed hundreds of worlds." Ju-ri sounded doubtful. "Maybe they knew something we don't," Do-hyun said. He looked at his team. "Pack everything. Every crystal, every piece of data. We're taking it all back to Earth." As they gathered the crystals, Do-hyun looked at the empty room. A whole civilization had died here. Their last act had been to leave this warning. "Captain," Suja called from another room. "You need to see this." He joined her at a window that looked into another chamber. Inside were hundreds of strange pods, all empty. Whatever had been in them was gone. "They weren't just warning us," Do-hyun said quietly. "They were giving us time to prepare." The Earth Defense Council room was quiet after Captain Do-hyun finished speaking. He had shown them the images from the dead planet and the data from the crystals. Now he waited. Commander Ta-1 stood up first. He was tall with a stern face that rarely smiled. "Captain, this is not enough proof," he said. "Empty cities and old messages don't mean there's a threat to Earth." "Did you not see the records?" Du Hyun asked. "Hundreds of planets gone. Billions of people dead or missing." "Records that could be fake," Ta-1 said. "I need more than stories to put Earth on war alert." Do Hyun looked around the room. Most council members seemed to agree with Ta-1. "Fine," Do Hyun said, "but let my team keep studying the crystals." The council agreed to this small request, and the meeting ended. Back at the science lab, Han Bin worked day and night on the crystals. Each one held the story of a lost world. The more he learned, the more worried he became. "They call themselves the Void," Han Bin told Suji one night. "Not the hunger like we thought. That was just what the dead civilization called them. They move from galaxy to galaxy, eating everything alive. And no one has stopped them." Suji asked. "Many tried. All failed." Han Bin looked tired. "We need to make the council understand." 3 days later, all the alarms in the Earth Defense Center went off at once. "Large object entering the solar system," the operator said. "It's huge and moving fast." Tai-1 called Du Hyun immediately. "Is this your Void?" "I don't know," Du Hyun said. "The Void attacks without warning. This is different." The object slowed as it passed Pluto. It was a ship, bigger than any Earth had ever built. It sent a message in a strange language. Suji worked with the best language experts. After hours of work, they managed to translate parts of it. "They're asking for permission to approach Earth," Suji told Ta-1. "They say they come in peace. They're running from something." "The Void," Du Hyun guessed. Ta-1 made his decision. "Let them come closer, but slowly. And get our ships ready, just in case." The alien ship took a week to reach Earth orbit. It was massive, with parts broken and repaired many times. Earth sent a welcoming party to meet them, including Du Hyun, Suji, and Han Bin. The aliens called themselves the Elora. They looked almost human, but with blue-tinted skin and large eyes. Their leader was introduced as Sorrow Singer. "We have run for many years," Sorrow Singer said through a translator. "Our homeworlds are gone, eaten by the Void." "How many of you survived?" Han Bin asked. 20 million, Sorrow Singer said. "Out of billions, we are all that remains of 12 planets. Why come to Earth?" Ta-1 asked. "We're not a powerful world compared to what you had." "We heard your signals," Sorrow Singer said. "Music, television, radio. They were different from any we've known. We hoped you might have weapons or ideas we haven't tried. We don't even believe the Void exists," Du Hyun said bitterly. Sorrow Singer looked shocked. "You don't know, but they follow us. They always follow. We have led them to you, though we tried to lose them." The room went silent. "How long do we have?" Ta-1 asked, finally believing. "Months, maybe less," Sorrow Singer said. As the meeting continued, Sorrow Singer suddenly stopped talking. She walked closer to the human group, her head tilted as if listening. "Is something wrong?" Suji asked. "Your hearts," Sorrow Singer said, her large eyes wide with wonder. "They beat so strangely." "What do you mean?" Han Bin asked. "Not steady. Not regular. They speed up, slow down, jump, pause." She put her hand on her own chest. "Our hearts beat in perfect time, always the same. But yours are like music." Do Hyun didn't understand why this mattered. "We need to prepare Earth for what's coming. Can your people help us?" Sorrow Singer nodded, but kept looking at their chests where their hearts beat. "We will help," she said. "But your hearts, there is something there, something important." Earth changed quickly after the Elora arrived. Military ships filled the skies. People built underground shelters. Everyone prepared for war. Suji spent her days working with Ellerin communication experts. They set up systems to detect the void when it came. They also tried to talk to the void, sending messages of peace into space. Will they answer? Suji asked her Ellerin partner. They never have before, the Ellerin said. But we keep trying. 3 weeks after the Elora arrived, the deep space monitors near Pluto went silent. What happened? Taiwan demanded in the control room. Unknown, sir, the operator said. All stations just stopped sending data. They sent a small scout ship to check. It never came back. Instead, they received one short video. It showed the Pluto base covered in darkness. Not night darkness, but something that moved, something alive. The void, Sorrow Singer said when she saw it. They are here. Within days, the research bases on Neptune went dark. Then the mining colonies on Uranus. Each time, the same moving darkness appeared before all contact was lost. They're moving faster than we expected, Taiwan told the Earth Defense Council. At this rate, they'll reach Earth in 2 weeks. We need to save as many people as we can from the outer planets, Du Hyun said. Taiwan nodded. Take a fleet, get to Jupiter's moons, and evacuate everyone. But be quick. Do Hyun led 20 ships to Jupiter. They found the moon bases still safe, but afraid. The void had been seen near Saturn. We have room for everyone, Du Hyun told the base leaders. But we must leave now. They loaded families, workers, and scientists onto the ships. As the last people boarded, the alarms sounded. Multiple objects approaching from Saturn, Jure reported from her tactical station, moving very fast. Get those ships out of here, Du Hyun ordered. My ship will stay behind to cover them. The refugee ships jumped away to safety. Du Hyun's ship turned to face the void. They saw it clearly for the first time. Not ships like they expected, but swarms of darkness. Living shadows that moved with purpose. They flowed like water but flew like birds. Thousands of them, heading straight for Jupiter. Fire all weapons, Du Hyun ordered. Lasers and missiles hit the void swarms. Some broke apart, but others kept coming. They surrounded Du Hyun's ship, covering the windows with darkness. They're cutting through the hull. An engineer shouted over the radio. They're inside the lower decks. Security cameras showed the horror. The living shadows flowed through the smallest cracks. When they touched people, the shadows wrapped around them. The people screamed, then disappeared inside the darkness. The shadows grew bigger with each person they took. Abandon ship, Du Hyun ordered. Everyone to the escape pods. Do Hyun stayed on the bridge, making sure the ship's cameras recorded everything. Earth needed to see what they were fighting. As he turned to leave, a shadow slipped through the door. Do Hyun backed away, his gun ready. The shadow moved closer. It took a shape, almost human but wrong in every way. It reached for him. Do Hyun fired his gun. The shadow split apart, but came back together. It couldn't be hurt by bullets. He ran for the escape pod, the shadow right behind him. He jumped inside and hit the launch button. As the door closed, the shadow forced its way partly inside. Half of it was caught in the door as the pod launched. The shadow creature struggled, black liquid dripping from where it was cut. Do Hyun watched in shock as it slowly died, turning to dust that blew away in the pod's air system. They can be hurt, he realized. They can die. His small pod flew toward Earth as Jupiter's moons fell to darkness behind him. His ship was gone. Most of his crew was gone. But he had survived, and he had evidence, and he had learned that the void could be killed. Han Bin worked in the main science lab with both human and Ellerin scientists. Du Hyun's video from Jupiter played on a large screen. They had watched it 100 times, looking for any weakness in the void. Stop there, Han Bin said. The video paused on a shadow creature consuming a crew member. Look how it grows larger after feeding. An Ellerin scientist named Jin Ho nodded. Jinho had taken a human name after coming to Earth. He pointed to data on another screen. It's not just taking the body, Jinho said. It's taking the energy, the fear, the pain. Han Bin looked at him. What do you mean? The void doesn't just eat flesh, Jinho explained. It feeds on emotions. Fear and pain give it the most energy. This was new information. Han Bin called a meeting with Earth's leaders right away. Taiwan, Du Hyun, and Suji joined them in the lab. The void is smarter than we thought, Han Bin told them. It doesn't just kill, it makes people afraid first. Fear makes it stronger. That's why it moves slowly from planet to planet, Jinho added, to spread fear ahead of it. So what do we do? Taiwan asked. Tell people not to be afraid of the monsters eating whole planets. Suji, who had been quiet, spoke up. We've noticed something strange in our tracking data. The Void Scouts avoid certain places. Which places? Du Hyun asked. Areas with mixed human and LRN medical teams, Suji said. At first we thought it was random, but it's happened too many times now. Han Bin and Jinho looked at each other. We need to study this, Han Bin said. For the next 3 days, the scientists ran tests. They set up camps with different groups of people, some with only humans, some with only Alorans, some with both together. The results were clear. The void avoided groups with both species together. But why? Taiwan asked when they reported back. What's different about mixed groups? Jinho had been scanning everyone in the test groups. He showed them the results on a screen. It's the heartbeats, he said. Human hearts and Elleran hearts beat very differently. He played a recording of an Elleran heartbeat. It was perfectly regular, like a machine. Then he played a human heartbeat. It changed speed and rhythm constantly. Human hearts never beat in perfect time, Jinho explained. They speed up with fear, slow down with calm, skip beats with excitement. They're always changing. And this matters because, Du Hyun asked. The void communicates through electromagnetic pulses, Jinho said. Very precise pulses, like our Elleran heartbeats, but human heartbeats create noise, interference. When human and Elleran hearts beat near each other, the patterns clash, Han Bin added. It creates a field of electromagnetic chaos that the void can't stand. Suji's eyes widened. That's why Sorrow Singer was so interested in our heartbeats when we first met. So our heartbeats hurt them? Taiwan asked. That doesn't seem like much of a weapon against planet-eating monsters. Not just your heartbeats, Jinho said. The emotions behind them. When humans feel strong emotions, your hearts beat even more chaotically. The effect is stronger. Could we use this? Du Hyun asked. Make some kind of weapon from it. Han Bin nodded slowly. Maybe. If we could amplify the effect somehow. How many humans are on Earth? Jinho asked. About 8 billion, Taiwan said. Jinho and the Elleran scientists looked shocked. What's wrong? Suji asked. We thought maybe a few million, Jinho said. The Elora, at our height, at 20 billion across 12 planets. Well, we're just on one planet, Taiwan said. 8 billion hearts, Jinho said, almost whispering. 8 billion chaotic, emotional human hearts, all beating differently, all creating electromagnetic noise. He turned to the other scientists, excitement in his voice. If we could harness that, we might have a weapon the void has never faced before. For the first time since the void entered their solar system, there was hope in the room. Taiwan called all the best scientists to a large meeting room. Suji brought her communications team. Han Bin brought medical experts. Jinho brought Elleran scientists who had fought the void before. We need to understand exactly how the void thinks and talks to each other, Taiwan said. Only then can we use our heartbeats against them. Sujai stepped forward. She had been studying the void's movements carefully. They act as one, she said. Thousands of shadow creatures moving together perfectly, like they share one mind. A hive mind, Han Bin added. Many bodies, but one brain. Jin-Ho nodded. Yes, they communicate through precise electromagnetic pulses, not radio waves like we use, but something more basic, something that travels through space itself. Suji showed a recording from a space station near Mars. The void shadows moved in perfect unison, like dancers who had practiced for years. Now watch what happens when we broadcast human heartbeats near them, she said. The video changed. Now a small ship flew near the void swarm. It sent out the recorded sound of human hearts beating. The void creatures near the ship began to move strangely. Some bumped into each other. Others flew in circles. The heartbeats disrupt their communication, Suji explained. They can't talk to each other properly. But it's not enough to stop them, Ta-One said. They still destroyed that ship after a few minutes. That's because we use recorded heartbeats, Jin-Ho said. Not real ones. Not ones with emotion. Han Bin stood up and walked to a screen showing brain and heart scans. This is an Ellerin heart, he said, pointing to a scan. It beats the same all the time. Even when they feel happy or sad, the heart rate stays steady. He switched to another scan. This is a human heart. See how it changes all the time. Even when sitting still, it speeds up and slows down. But look what happens when they feel strong emotions. The scan changed dramatically, showing rapid, irregular beats. Human hearts are chaos, Han Bin said, especially when feeling strong emotions like love, fear, or hope. This chaos creates electromagnetic noise that the void can't filter out. So our weapon is feelings, Ta-One asked. He looked doubtful. Not just feelings, Jin-Ho said. What makes humans special is that your hearts reflect your feelings. Your emotions physically change how your hearts beat. Ellerins don't do that. Most species don't. Suji had been thinking, what if we broadcast not just heartbeats, but emotional heartbeats? From many humans at once. That might work better, Jin-Ho agreed. But how do we capture those heartbeats and send them out? The room went quiet as everyone thought about the problem. Then a woman stood up from the back of the room. She was small and quiet, but everyone knew Mi-Jin was one of Earth's best engineers. I might have an idea, Mi-Jin said. We can build devices to detect and amplify heartbeat patterns, not just the sound, but the electromagnetic signature. Would that work? Ta-One asked Jin-Ho. Maybe, Jin-Ho said. The void uses electromagnetic fields to communicate. If we can create a stronger field that disrupts theirs, how many of these devices would we need? Ta-One asked. Mi-Jin thought for a moment. To affect the void across the whole planet, thousands, maybe millions. That would take too long, Du-Gyun said. The void will reach Earth in 10 days. We don't need to cover the whole planet at once, Mi-Jin said. We can start small, build a few devices and test them. And if they work? Ta-One asked. Then we build more, Mi-Jin said simply. As many as we can. Ta-One nodded. Do it. Use whatever you need. People, materials, factories. This is our priority now. As the meeting ended, Du-Hyun pulled Han Bin aside. Do you really think this will work? He asked quietly. Heartbeats against world eaters. Han Bin looked at the Earth scientists and Ellerin refugees working together. The void has destroyed thousands of worlds, he said, but maybe they've never met a species like humans before, a species whose hearts beat like yours. For the first time in weeks, Du-Hyun felt a tiny spark of hope grow inside him. Mi-Jin barely slept for 3 days. She worked in a large lab with 50 other engineers. Parts and tools covered every table. Cables ran across the floor. Everyone moved quickly, knowing time was running out. How's it coming? Du-Hyun asked when he visited on the 3rd day. Mi-Jin looked tired but happy. She held up a round device the size of a dinner plate. "This is it," she said. "The heartbeat amplifier. It captures the electromagnetic signature of a beating heart and makes it stronger." The device was simple-looking. A metal disc with lights around the edge and a glass center that glowed softly. "Will it work?" Do-hyun asked. "We're going to test it today," Mi-jin said. "We caught a small Void Scout near the moon base. It's being kept in a secure container." Do-hyun followed Mi-jin to a special room with thick walls. In the center was a clear box. Inside the box, a small shadow creature moved around, trying to escape. "It's so small," Do-hyun said. "The scouts are always small," Jin-ho explained as he joined them. "They go ahead to find food for the larger ones." Mi-jin placed the amplifier on a table near the box. She connected it to a small screen. "I need a volunteer," she said. "Someone to connect to the amplifier." Do-hyun stepped forward. "I'll do it." Mi-jin placed small sensors on Do-hyun's chest. Near his heart, the amplifier's lights began to pulse with his heartbeat. "Now we'll see if it reacts," Mi-jin said. At first, nothing happened. The shadow creature kept moving around the box as before. "Try feeling something strong," Jin-ho suggested. "Remember, it's the emotional signature that matters most." Do-hyun closed his eyes. He thought about Earth, about his family, about all the people counting on them. He felt his heart speed up with worry. The amplifier's light grew brighter. The shadow in the box stopped moving. "It's working," Mi-jin whispered. "Keep going." Do-hyun thought about his crew who died at Jupiter. He felt anger rise in his chest. His heart pounded harder. The shadow creature backed away from the side of the box nearest the amplifier. It seemed to shrink slightly. "Remarkable," Jin-ho said, "but we need more power to really hurt it." Suji, who had been watching, stepped forward. "Let me try too." Mi-jin quickly attached sensors to Suji's chest. Now the amplifier pulsed with two different heartbeats, mixing together. The shadow creature pressed itself against the far side of the box, as far from the amplifier as possible. "Add me," Hanbin said, joining them. With 3 heartbeats feeding the amplifier, the light grew very bright. The shadow creature began to break apart, pieces of it floating away like dust. Within minutes, it was completely gone. "We did it," Mi-jin said. "It works." Everyone in the room cheered, but Jin-ho looked worried. "This was just a small scout," he said. "The main swarm is millions of times larger." Mi-jin nodded. "We need more amplifiers. And more hearts." "How many can you build in a week?" Ta-won asked. He had been watching from the doorway. "With all of Earth's factories helping." "Thousands," Mi-jin said. "But that won't be enough." Suji had been thinking. "What if we don't need separate devices for each person?" she asked. "What if we connect everyone through a network?" "Like the internet?" Hanbin asked. "Exactly," Suji said. "One big system that captures all of Earth's heartbeats at once." Mi-jin's eyes widened. "That could work. We'd need to build transmitters, not individual amplifiers. And a way to connect everyone." "Can you do it in time?" Ta-won asked. "The Void will reach Mars in 3 days." Mi-jin looked at her team, then back at Ta-won. "We'll need every engineer on the planet, and a lot of luck." "You'll have the engineers," Ta-won promised. "The luck we'll have to make ourselves." As they left the room, Suji touched the amplifier gently. 8 billion hearts, she said softly, all beating together but in their own way. "If that doesn't stop the Void, nothing will." The Void reached Mars faster than anyone expected. Within 1 day, the red planet was covered in darkness. The human colonies there went silent. Earth had only days left. Mi-jin's team worked without stopping. Factories around the world made heartbeat amplifiers. People lined up to receive small sensors that connected them to the network. But it wasn't happening fast enough. "We need more time," Mi-jin told Ta-won. "The global network is only 20% complete." Ta-won looked at the map showing the Void's progress. They were already past Mars, heading for Earth. "We need to slow them down," he said. Do-hyun knew what that meant before Taiwan even asked. "I'll take a fleet to meet them," he said. "We'll buy you as much time as we can." A small fleet of 50 ships prepared to leave Earth. Each ship carried prototype amplifiers. The best pilots and bravest soldiers volunteered for what everyone knew might be a one-way trip. "Be careful," Suja told Do-hyun before he left. "We need you to come back." Do-hyun smiled but didn't promise anything. They both knew the odds. The fleet met the void near the halfway point between Mars and Earth. From space, the void looked like a moving cloud of darkness, so vast it blocked the stars behind it. "All ships, activate amplifiers," Do-hyun ordered. Every person on every ship was connected to an amplifier. Their heartbeats, filled with courage and determination, created a strong electromagnetic field around the fleet. When the first wave of the void reached them, something amazing happened. The shadow creatures pulled back, unable to get close to the ships. "It's working," Juri shouted from her tactical station. "They can't touch us." For a few hours, it seemed like they might succeed. The fleet formed a barrier that the void couldn't cross. But then things changed. "Sir, they're adapting," Jure reported. "The larger shadows are pushing the smaller ones forward." Do-hyun watched on his screen as the void changed tactics. The smaller shadows were being sacrificed, pushed into the fleet's defensive field. They died by the thousands, but each one weakened the field slightly. "They're learning," Do-hyun said. "Warn the other ships." But it was too late. A large shadow broke through and landed on one of the ships. Within minutes, that ship went dark. Then another fell, and another. "Pull back to secondary position," Do-hyun ordered. But only half the fleet responded. The rest were already lost. Hour after hour, they fought a losing battle. Ship after ship fell silent. The amplifiers worked, but there weren't enough of them. The void was simply too vast. Finally, only Do-hyun's ship remained, surrounded on all sides by darkness. "Engine room gone," Jure reported. "Life support failing. They're inside the lower decks." Do-hyun knew they had done all they could. "Open a channel to Earth," he ordered. Suji's face appeared on his screen. She looked worried, but tried to smile. "We see what's happening," she said. "You've given us almost 2 extra days." "Is it enough?" Do-hyun asked. "Almost. The network is at 80% now." Behind Do-hyun, the bridge door melted as shadows pushed through. "We're out of time," he said. "But I want you to see something before we go." He turned his camera to show the void entering the bridge. But instead of running, Do-hyun stood his ground. He disconnected from the ship's amplifier and held the small device in his hand. "What are you doing?" Suji asked. "Testing a theory," Do-hyun said. As the void approached him, Do-hyun didn't feel fear. He thought about Earth, about Suji, about all the people he was protecting. He felt love, strong and pure. His heart beat with powerful emotion. The amplifier in his hand glowed brighter than ever before. The shadow creature reaching for him suddenly pulled back. It seemed to convulse, parts of it breaking away like dust in the wind. "Suji," Do-hyun said with wonder in his voice. "It's not just our irregular heartbeats. It's what we feel. Pure emotion hurts them more than anything." Then the transmission cut off as darkness covered the camera. On Earth, Suji stared at the blank screen, tears in her eyes. But her mind was racing with this new information. "It's the emotion," she whispered. "That's the key." Suji ran all the way to Mi-jin's lab, her heart pounding. When she arrived, she found Mi-jin and Jin-ho working on the main control system for the global heartbeat network. "I saw what happened to Do-hyun's ship," Mi-jin said sadly. "I'm sorry." "He might still be alive," Suji said, though she wasn't sure she believed it. "But he discovered something important before the transmission ended." She explained what Do-hyun had found. That pure emotion made the amplifiers much stronger against the void. Jin-ho's eyes widened. That fits with everything we know. The void feeds on fear and pain, but positive emotions might be poison to them. Jin thought for a moment. The network is at 90% now. Almost everyone on Earth is connected. But we're just collecting their heartbeats randomly. Suji said, what if we could make people feel the same emotions at the same time? Like a symphony instead of noise, Jinho said, understanding. But how do we make billions of people feel the same thing? We tell them the truth, Suji said, and we ask for their help. Taiwan agreed to the plan. Within hours, every screen on Earth showed the same message. Leaders from every country explained the situation. They showed footage from Du Hyun's last stand. They asked everyone to focus on specific emotions when told. The void was now only hours from Earth. The dark cloud covered the space where the moon had been. The moon itself was gone, consumed entirely. They're coming faster now, Taiwan said, watching the monitors. They're hungry after the moon. We're ready, Jin said. The global network was finally complete. Every human on Earth wore a small sensor over their heart. All were connected to the main system. Begin Phase 1. Suji ordered. All across Earth, the message went out, focus on defiance. Stand your ground. Humanity will not fall. Billions of hearts beat with determination. The rhythm was chaotic, but powerful, each person adding their unique pattern to the whole. The combined signal shot into space, a wave of electromagnetic energy, unlike anything ever created before. When it hit the void's front line, the effect was immediate. The smaller shadows broke apart completely. The larger ones slowed their advance. It's working, Jinho shouted. But they're adapting already. The bigger ones are shielding themselves behind the dying smaller ones. Begin Phase 2, Suji said. The message changed. Think of those you love. Your children, parents, partners, friends. Feel your love for them. A new wave of heartbeats surged outward, this one even stronger than the first. Love was a powerful emotion that made human hearts beat in uniquely irregular ways. The void's main body began to break formation. The shadows moved in confused patterns, no longer acting as one perfect unit. Some began to retreat. They're communicating less effectively, Jinho said, reading the data. The hive mind is having trouble holding them together. But the largest shadow creatures kept coming, pushing toward Earth with single-minded hunger. Final phase, Suji said. Now. The last message was the simplest. Hope. Believe in tomorrow. See a future beyond this darkness. Hope was the purest emotion, the belief in something better despite all evidence. Human hearts responded powerfully, creating the strongest electromagnetic symphony yet. The wave hit the void like a physical force. The shadows didn't just break apart. They transformed. The darkness writhed and changed shape. Some simply disappeared. Others broke into tiny pieces that drifted away like smoke. The largest shadow creatures held out the longest. They pushed against the wave, trying to reach Earth. But they couldn't fight the combined emotional force of billions of human hearts. One by one, they broke apart until nothing remained of the void, but scattered wisps of darkness that faded into the starlight. In the control room, no one spoke for a long moment. The screen showed empty space where the void had been. Is it over? Taiwan finally asked. Jinho checked the long-range sensors. They're gone. All of them. Suji looked at the global network display. 8 billion hearts still beat as one great symphony, but now they pulsed with a new emotion. Joy. We won, she said simply. Humanity won. 3 months after the void disappeared, Earth was different. The fear was gone, replaced by hope, and a new sense of purpose. Humans and Elorans worked together to rebuild what had been lost. Suji stood at the large window in the Earth Defense Center, looking at the stars. Somewhere out there, other species were still hiding from the void, not knowing the war was over. We've received another signal, Taiwan said, joining her at the window. That's the fifth one this week. After news spread that Earth had defeated the void, other alien species began to make contact. Some had been hiding for centuries, afraid to use any technology that might attract attention. What are they like? Suji asked. Plant-based beings from a system about 30 light-years away, Taiwan said. They've been hiding underground for 500 years. Tell them they can come out now, Suji said with a smile. Jin-Ho entered the room with exciting news. The Mars recovery team found survivors, he said. A small group hid in a deep shelter. They're coming home next week. Any word about Do-hyun? Suji asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Jin-Ho shook his head. Not yet, but they're still searching. Suji nodded, holding on to hope. After all, hope had saved them all. Later that day, Mi-jin called an emergency meeting. When Suji arrived at the lab, she found Mi-jin standing next to something strange. It looked like a shadow, but it was contained in a clear cylinder. What is that? Suji asked, stepping back. Don't be afraid, Mi-jin said. It's not dangerous. We found it near Jupiter, drifting in space. Is it part of the void? Taiwan asked. Yes and no, Jin-Ho said. It's change. Watch. He pressed a button, and a human heartbeat sound played through a speaker. The shadow didn't pull away or break apart. Instead, it pulsed in rhythm with the heartbeat. It's trying to match the pattern, Mi-jin explained. Not fight it. There are more like this one, Han Bin added. Thousands, maybe millions, scattered across the solar system. They're different now. The shadow in the cylinder formed a shape like a hand, pressing against the glass. It's trying to communicate, Jin-Ho said. Over the next few weeks, they learned more about these changed shadows. They had once been other species, consumed by the void, and made part of it. But when the emotional wave hit them, something broke free. They remembered what they once were. They can't go back to their original forms, Han Bin explained to the Earth Council. But they're not the void anymore either. They're something new. And they want to stay here? A council member asked. They want to help, Han Bin said. They feel responsible for what happened. The council voted to allow the changed shadows to remain, under careful watching. 1 month later, a ship returned from the outer planets. Suji was there when it landed. Her heart beat faster when the door opened. Rescue workers carried out survivors. People thought lost forever. And then, walking slowly but steadily, came Do-hyun. Suji ran to him. How? Was all she could ask. My escape pod worked, he said with a tired smile. But it got damaged and drifted off course. A group of the changed shadows found me. They kept me alive until rescue came. That night, Earth celebrated. Not just the return of the lost, but the beginning of something new. The Heartbeat Network, built for war, now connected Earth to the stars. Messages went out to all corners of the galaxy. The war is over. You can come home. In a quiet moment during the celebration, Sorrow Singer found Suji and Do-hyun. My people have a new name for humans, she said. Heart speakers. The ones whose emotions changed the universe. Do-hyun smiled. We just did what anyone would do. We fought with what we had. No, Sorrow Singer said. What you had was special. In a universe of patterns and order, your hearts beat with beautiful chaos. You taught us all that differences are not weakness. They are strength. Suji took Do-hyun's hand, feeling their hearts beat together, each in its own rhythm but somehow in perfect harmony. What happens now? She asked. Now, Do-hyun said, looking up at the stars, we rebuild. Together, one heartbeat at a time. The end.